Hi guys, welcome back to Beautiful You. I'm going to kickstart the week with this Great Gatsby inspired makeup look. So if you'd like to see how I created it, just keep watching. I'm going to start off this tutorial by applying the Oils of Life facial oil by The Body Shop, and I'm just massaging this all over my face, and I also took it down my neck. This is a really good product for the winter months when your skin is crying out for moisture, and it's a really good base for this look as well because we don't want our skin to look too glowy. So after this I'm just going to hydrate my lips with some lip balm and then go in with my primer. This one is the NYX Angel Veil primer, and it's basically just a pore filling primer, so it reduces the look of large pores and it basically just smooths your skin. It's oil free as well, so if you're prone to acne, this could be the right one for you. Next up, I'm going to apply my primer potion by Urban Decay, just the usual to keep my eyeshadows in place, before going in with the first shadow, which is basically just a soft brown matte eyeshadow, and this is from the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. So I'm just applying that all over the lid and blending it into the crease. Then I'm now taking a darker brown through the crease. This is going to be my transitional colour, and I'm sort of blending that through the outer V of the eye and then through the crease. So this is kind of like the middle colour between the darker colours and the lighter one that we used on the lid, just to create some depth. And I'm doing the same on the other eye as well, before going in with my blending brush and just blending all of those colours out. Next I'm going to go in with a more mauvey colour, because this look is really created using a lot of plums and purple hues, so this is a great transition from the browns into more purple tones, and this is actually from the Naked 3 palette. It's the shade Nuna. And I'm just doing the same on the other eye, and I'm taking that colour right onto the brow on the inside, as you can see, just to create really large looking eyes and sort of a doll-like appearance. Now I'm going in with a dark reddish brown colour just on the outer V of the eye, but I'm taking this colour all the way through the crease as well. This is really just going to give me some depth, and it's a really beautiful bold colour. I love it, and this is actually from the Naked Heat palette, and it's the colour En Fuego. Now I'm just going to blend those colours together using a clean fluffy brush, and this is just going to make sure that there are no harsh lines or sharp edges. We want everything to look very natural and very well blended. Now, just to darken this up, because it is the Roaring 20s, I'm now using a really dark purple colour, and this is actually from the Naked Basics palette, and the shade escapes me, but it's basically just a nice dark plum colour, and I am taking this through the crease. Again, it's the 20s, we want this look to be nice and dark. And now I'm just going over that with my clean blending brush, again, just to make sure that everything's really nice and well blended and seamless. Just darkening that up a little bit more. I felt like throughout this look I kept feeling like it wasn't quite dark enough, because back then they had very few colours to play with. The most popular was like grey hues or greeny hues. But yeah, makeup that was long lasting was very difficult to find, so you did have to sort of pack it on for it to stay put all night. I mean, my goodness, how fortunate are we now to have these shades that last all day. And I mean, I use the Urban Decay Primer Potion, but if you put on some Fix Plus or some sort of setting spray as well, this baby would not move all night. So as you can see, I applied that darker shade on that outer V because I really want to create that winged effect, and we are going to be doing a winged liner. So you just want to extend it past the natural eye to give it that really doll effect. I'm now just applying an ivory shade to my brow bone, and I also apply this on the inner corners. There's no shimmers in these shades because that would not be true to the time. They didn't have shimmers back then, so we're just keeping it matte. And of course for the brows, back then girls had very thin brows. In fact, some women used to shave them off and just draw on a really thin brow, but I wasn't about to do that for the sake of this video. So I'm just using two cool brown shades, and I'm filling in my brows with this liner brush. This is from Eco Tools. And then I just keep brushing them with my spoolie to make sure that they look nice and natural. Next, I'm going to go in with my foundation, and it's the L'Oreal Lumi foundation. Goodness me, I almost forgot what foundation I used. But yeah, I chose to apply it after I did my eye makeup, because when you're using dark shadows, sometimes it can drop down the fallout onto your foundation and give you a dark under eye, which is the last thing we want. So yeah, I chose to apply it afterwards. And yeah, I'm just applying that all over my face. I do go in with a second layer because I wanted it to be quite full coverage. So I'm just going in with that second layer and using a beauty blender. Now I'm going to go in with some concealer. This is the Naked Skin Concealer by Urban Decay, and I chose this one because it's a demi-matte concealer, so it will somewhat set under the eyes and stop anything from budging. But I'm also using it just to clean up that outer V where some of the shadows may have dropped down. I want that to be a really nice clean edge, as you can see there. So I'm applying it with a concealer brush before blending it out with my Real Techniques makeup sponge. You can do this with your fingers, it's really completely up to you. Next, I'm going to start on my winged liner. Now this bit is what scares most people to death because they don't think they can get both eyes even, but it is really simple. If you start on the inner corner and draw just a thin line, you don't need to make it thick from the start, but just draw a basic line and keep going until you reach the outer corner of your eye, and then draw up and create your wing and then connect the two together. That's what I'm doing here now. And once you've done this, you can then go back over it and make your wing as thick, or as, well, you can't make it any thinner unless you get like a Q-tip or something, but you can make it thicker if you want it thicker, or leave it natural. It's completely up to you, but just establish the line first, create your wing, and then go back in and you can play with it a little bit more. Now this is my other secret weapon, just to make that outer V really slick and perfect looking. I'm using that same concealer brush and I'm just cleaning up any of the shadow that may have sort of dropped down a little bit, just to make it nice and clean. I'm now going in with the Soleil Tan de Chanel, which is a cream bronzing product. Now, bronzer didn't exist in the 20s. The only way of sort of creating that shadow effect or contour effect was to use your blush, but I'm bringing this a little bit more up to date. So I'm just using this very sparingly on the hollows of the cheeks, the jawline and the sides of the nose, and I also did put a little bit in my hairline as well, just where the shadows would naturally fall on my face. Next, I'm going in with the all-important blusher. This is the Dandelion Blusher by Benefit, and I'm taking this on a really nice big brush, and as you can see, I'm not using it sparingly. I brushed it from the apples of my cheeks right up into my hairline pretty much, because obviously back in the 20s, as I've already said, this was the only way of creating that colour, so we really want our cheeks to pop with this look. Next, I'm going in with a touch of cream highlighter. Again, this did not exist in the 20s, but I'm using a bit of artistic license, so just applying that on the bridge of the nose, on the high points of the cheeks, and I did put a tiny bit on the Cupid's bow as well. Now I'm just putting on my mascara. This is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Ecstatic Mascara. Not mega important because we are going to be applying some falsies. So the lashes that I chose were the Ardell Demi Wispies, and I'm using the lash glue from Eyeshadow, which I rate, I think it's good. So I'm taking the lash on my tweezers and holding it steady while I apply the glue. And I definitely think the glue is easier to apply if you buy a bigger bottle, because the applicator is a bit easier than using a tube. But I'm just applying that on the band. And then what you want to do after you've applied it is leave it a couple of seconds, let it go a little bit tacky. I would say as much as sort of 15 to 20 seconds. And then you want to just pop the lashes on top of your natural lashes, and then with small motions attach or push the band onto your skin as close to your natural lashes as you can get them. Now you want to take your time with this. The glue's not going to go off immediately, so you've not got like all of 10 seconds to make it perfect. You can really take your time. What I do is I get them as close to my lashes as possible, and then I go along my lash line and pinch. As you can see, that's kind of what I'm doing here. I pinch the false lashes onto my real lashes. That's what I'm doing. Just be careful not to pinch your skin, because you will regret that. It really hurts. So yeah, just pinch the two together, and then this will make it look all that more natural. And there we have it. Not too bad. Then I had to go in and do the other eye, but here you have the finished product. Both eyes have lashes on. And yeah, they are really comfortable to wear as well, these Ardell ones. And I think maybe for the day I would use something a little bit more glamorous, but these did for this video. Finally, for the pièce de résistance, I'm going in with this lipstick, and it's an old Urban Decay lipstick back before they had the Vice ones. So I don't know if this shade is still around, but isn't it gorgeous? I think this really pulls the look together. So I'm using a square lip brush to apply this, and I think when you're applying a dark lip, you really do need to use a brush just to make sure that the edges are nice and clean. And I did overline a little bit. Now the key to overlining is not to overline on your Cupid's bow, but to do it on either side. Now after I applied my lipstick, I went back in with my liner, the same one that I used before, just to cover up the glue. I mean, the glue is transparent, but I felt like you could just see it a little bit on the inner corners, so I'm just going back in and covering that up. And that completes this look, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it. It's something a little bit different. I've never done sort of a, what's the word? A fancy look on my channel before, so it was a bit of fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. Please subscribe on your way out if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.